Greetings everyone, welcome to ChessAdvancedd. This game was played in FIDE World Cup with the black pieces. We have Luke Mendonca facing off against Wang Shixu, and the thing is that here this is the second game. The first game ended in a draw where Leon had the white pieces. He had some chances but he was not able to convert, and now he's gonna have to face him with the white pieces, and definitely Leon would be hoping for a draw. But let's see what happened in the game. Here just d4 was played by Wang, and we have knight to f6, c4 and e6. This is the East Indian defense. Knight to f3 and just b6. Now going for the Queen's Indian defense, a3, bishop to b7 and just knight to c3. We have d5, just pushing those pawns towards the center. We have c captures, knight captures and just e3 in this position, and going for further trades with knight caps on c3, b captures, bishop to e7, and here just bishop to b5 check. c6 now attacking that bishop and asking for it to move. A bishop to d3 was played, but just castles. You could have also gone for an immediate c5 in this position, and after castles and castles you play queen to e2, and after queen to c7 just e4, just pushing those pawns towards the center. And after this, knight to d7, bishop to b2 and rook a to c8, and the position would be very fine here. Most likely here a4 would be played, and the game goes on with both players having normally equal chances. But after bishop to d3, here just immediate castles by Leon, and here we have castles by Wang as well, c5, and now just going for e4, just pushing those pawns towards the center, queen to c7, and here just h4, pushing those pawns towards the king side. And this could be really that Wang is really trying to win with the white pieces here, so Leon is going to have to be really careful here. Rook to d8 was played by Leon, just putting the rook against the white queen, and here queen to e2. And with a move like knight to c6, you're absolutely fine. You're gonna have to just develop those pieces, and after bishop to b2 you play queen to f4, and after rook a to d1 just knight to a5, h5 now, and after this rook a to c8, knight to h2. Most likely here after h6 your position should be fine, because you don't want to allow that h6 to see appear on the board, because it's just an annoying pawn. Yes, the bishop pair is very strong, but I have control over the towards your king side, and it's not going to be easy to kick away my queen. And although you have some control over the central squares, but it's difficult for your queen to enter until unless you're asking for a trade. And if you ask for a trade, I'll most likely be happy to oblige, because with the white pieces, the more trades that happen the better. I just want a draw, and we can push this game off to tie breaks. But after queen to e2, here just h6 was played immediately by Leon, and now just comes bishop to b2. So those bishop pairs are looking very dangerous. Queen to f4 has to be played. Here knight to d7, and now just rook a to d8, d1, and here just rook a to c8, and now rook f to e1, just developing those pieces before trying to do anything. And with a move like c caps on d4 in this position, your position should be fine. You play c captures, queen to f4 now, and after g3 now you just go for queen to g4. You have to play that queen to f4 move. It's just the only move in this position that gives you some advantage, because with the bishop pair already eyeing all of this, you have some control over the centers. As soon as the bishops come alive, you have to make sure that this queen doesn't jump here and just wreaks a havoc with the bishop pair, because you won't have that much chances to be able to try and stop that. But here maybe king to g2, but after bishop to d6 you play bishop to a6, asking for a trade. You will happily oblige, and after this your position, it just goes on. I mean, there would be some chances for white, definitely with those central pawns, but you have to understand those are hanging pawns, and with the hanging pawns you are trying to get a win. But at the same time, you have to be careful that if this game goes into an end game, those pawns will be weak, so you have to actually try to do something, and in that there is many mistakes that people make. So in this position you have some sort of a counterbalance in this position, where you can try your opponent and trick your opponent. But here after rook f to e1, knight to f8 was played, but now just comes h5, and here we have bishop to f6, just trying to counter that bishop that will come alive soon enough. But here after bishop to b1, just rook to d7 and just e5 in this position, just completely locking it off, and it locks your bishop as well. When you see this, it just seems like that is basically a pawn chain, and that's the thing. Here bishop to e7, but now just comes knight to d2, but here just king to h8 in this position. We have knight to e4 and knight to h7, queen to d3 and queen to c6. All of these moves looks amazing, and maybe that's how with the king to h8 you're supposed to be playing in this position as well. But the thing is that here knight to d2, after this f5 was played, not king to h8. King to h8 is supposed to the move, it's a move that you're supposed to play, because it not only gets your king to safety, but it also just gets it out of all of these things, and somewhere along the line you will have chances to play with f6, f5, and your position, yes, will open up. Yes, it weakens the backward pawn as well. But what will you do? Let's say you try knight to a4, we have knight to h7, queen to d3, I have queen to c6, and you cannot move the knight. If you move the knight, you're just getting checkmated. You're gonna have to play f3 weak in your king side as well, and after c4 my game goes on, queen to d2, a5, there will be some chances that you will have towards the queen side, and you don't have to worry about the king side that very much, because now the chances is you're gonna have to push those pawns, or you're gonna have to try out something else with the bishop being out of the game, with this bishop already eyeing this. But you have to understand that this knight is not moving anywhere anytime soon, and the queen cannot jump in the way, well, at least not as early as you had expected it to be. But after knight to d2, hey, just f5 was played by Leon, and f5 just creates more weaknesses in your camp, because now you can go for the en passant, and that's exactly what Wang does. He goes for the e caps on f6 en passant, and bishop captures, and he just knight to e4. Now that knight to e4 hits the bishop, and that's going to be a problem, because if you allow that, g captures. Already with the bishop pair and the queen jumping in, you have some chances to get checkmated. So here just bishop caps on e4, just first eliminating that knight. Queen captures and rook c to d8. We have bishop to a2 now, just piling up on that weak e6 pawn, and now you have 3 pawn islands, although white has 3 pawn islands as well, but the central pawn is actually an f pawn, and the trouble is that, you know, this is going to be really weak, and that's the problem. Here c caps on d4 was played by Leon. You could have also gone for the move that I've been telling you all this time, just king to h8, just get the king out of this. I mean, now it's trouble. That's why you're supposed to get it out of the way. Here after rook to d3, you play a5. The rook is definitely jumping in here somewhere along the line. g3, you play b5, rook to f3, and now after the c caps on d4, you play c captures, rook to d6, and maybe the game goes on with you having some chances in the center and towards the queen side as well with those pass pawn. But the bishop pair is extremely strong, and you're gonna have to be careful the entire game. And once you're there playing, you're looking over your shoulder the entire game. Somewhere along the line, if you get in time trouble, you're bound to make a mistake. So that's why you have to be careful, and you are the one with the black pieces, so you need to be extra cautious. But here after bishop to a2, c caps on d4 was played by Leon. It just gives Wang some more chances, because now not only the white bishop is going to be in play, the black bishop is going to come alive as well. And your black bishop is actually eyeing this, but is it going to be enough? Well, we're just going to have to see. Hey, c caps on d4 was played. Now just comes rook to d6, rook to d3 now, and hey, just queen to d7, rook e to d1, queen to b5, and just bishop to c3. And now just going for a5, we have d5, and now the bishop comes alive. You cannot allow that trade, because if you allow that trade to happen, your pawn structure becomes ruined. You already have a pawn on the h file, queen is already eyeing this, bishop is already here. It's just position crumbles apart. Your rook can join in the party. You're just getting checkmated no matter what you do. So that's why here e5 was played by Leon, closing up the center. But here just a4, attacking the queen, queen to e8, and just bishop to b2, just waiting and seeing what black will do here. Queen caps on h5 was played by Leon, but it is not a good move. And the move that you want to play in this position to completely crumble black is actually a move bishop to a3. Only then you can just win this game right on the spot. But here, luckily, bishop to a3 was played, but he was not able to find the continuation after this, because you are supposed to find the entire continuation, not just the first move. A bishop to e7 was played, and now in this position rook to e1 was the move, but he plays a rook to c1, and with that Leon has some chances to be able to get back into the game. He immediately goes for knight to d7, which is the best move. Rook to h3 was played, attacking the queen. Queen goes to g5. You are supposed to bring it back to e8 to be able to help out with the defense, but hey, just rook to c7. And now that rook is jumping in, and you're going to have to somewhere along the line bring the queen in. Knight to f6 was supposed to be played, but hey, just going for queen to d2, and I don't even know what that queen is doing there. Yes, you're targeting that bishop, but you know that bishop can move. You don't have to worry about that, and it's just not a good position to have, because you can capture this as well. But here bishop to b3 was played, and Leon still have some chances here. He goes for bishop to f8, but bishop to f8 is not a good move. Again, you can capture this and go into an endgame, and that will be completely winning. But here in this position, just rook to f3 was played, and now you have a final chance to be able to get back into the game. This is the final way where you can try to do something. I'm going to ask you to pause the video, get your defensive skills back on, get your armor and suit ready, and try to save this position for Leon here. Let's see if you're able to come up with the right idea. So congratulations to everyone who's able to find the move. The move is queen to d4, asking for a trade. And yes, after queen captures, e captures, you can capture this, and this is the best move. But if you try to get the king into the game, you can actually get the king into the game as well, and you can capture this. Let's say you don't capture that. Let's say you go for king to f1. I'll just play knight to c5, block that, and after bishop captures, b captures, bishop to c4, and my position will be definitely better. You're just stuck defending. You cannot even capture that pawn. It's an opposite color bishop's endgame, and somewhere along the line that's going to be proved to be fatal. But you know, till then I can just get the rook here as well. I can just put some pressure here within those pawns, and it's just a very bad position to have. A rook to e8, and yeah, it's just not going to be enough. And maybe that's what Leon calculated, but there could be a chance that he missed it as well, because trading queens in this position, queen is the only thing that can guard your position, and now it's, if you trade that, it's just very difficult. And you could have also gone after this king to f1. Instead of king to f1, you could have also played bishop captures, and after this bishop captures on d6, the rook is attacked, you have to move. So most likely what you will play in this position is actually just rook to b7, just target these pawns once the knight moves, and after a move like d3 in this position, the game maybe goes on, but it's just a very, very bad position to have. You don't want to suffer like this, and yeah, this is not a way. And most likely this is the move that would have happened, bishop caps on d6, but here instead, after rook to f3, just knight to f6 was played, attacking the queen, and now just comes queen caps on e5, grabbing another pawn, and here we have rook to e8, queen to f4, and just queen to e1 check, king to h2, rook to e4, and now just going for rook to c1, just attacking the queen, queen to e2, and just bishop caps on d6, grabbing another pawn, rook caps on f4, and now in this position he even sacrifices the queen because he knows that this position is completely winning. Here just bishop captures, bishop to c5 now, but that pass pawn is rolling and there is not much you can do. So here d6, and that comes with a check because that opens up the attack towards the bishop. So the bishop pair is just absolutely monstrous here. King to h7 and just rook to d1 was played, knight to g4 check, but it's of no use. King to g3, and now knight caps on f2, but now just comes d7, and here knight to e4 check was played, king to h2, but just knight bishop to e7. You don't have much in this position, unfortunately. Rook to e3 and just queen to h5 check was played, king to g1, queen to f5, but just d8 queen, and you're gonna have to sack the bishop here. Bishop caps on d8 was played, bishop to c2, now first pinning that, and now just g6 even, but here rook caps on e4, queen to c5 check, and now just king moves, and we have bishop to f6. So for the two rooks you do have the queen, but for the bishop, a bishop and another piece, so unfortunately you are just completely losing him. Rook to d7 check was played, and now just comes king bishop to g7, but hey, just bishop to e5, and it was on this move, on move 57, that Leon resigned the game, and unfortunately with that he lost the second game. He fought till the end, he was able to almost get back into the game. He tried to create various ideas where he should have actually found the right move, but he created those chances, and unfortunately in time trouble he was not able to find the right ideas, and he's unfortunately been actually just out now, and that happens. It's a knockout tournament, but definitely he played well. He was able to get a very spectacular game yesterday as well, but he had some chances where he should have just, you know, clinched on, but he could not do that. And now unfortunately in this game as well, he had many chances to be able to bounce back in the game, and sometimes all you need some days is, you know, just one of those chances to be able to see one of those chances, and maybe you will have some chances to be able to get back into the game and just capitalize on them, and that's all you need. But unfortunately he today was not able to find those ideas, and it happens some days you're not able to find the right ideas. Although, you know, Leon is definitely a spectacular player, he plays amazing games. If you've seen one of his games in FIDE Chess as well, he was absolutely playing spectacular chess, but today he was not able to find the right ideas, and it's a knockout event, so you know, these things are bound to happen, but definitely not a great news for Indian fans. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming back with some of these amazing games, so stay tuned to the channel, stay updated, and I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon. Thank you very, very much for watching.